streaming live on Zoom. We're streaming live on Facebook. Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. This is our weekly wellness series. And today's topic, it's a hot topic. It's all about meditation. And I'm so excited to have an expert in meditation and a good friend, Jana Niksa, with us to really walk us through what meditation is, the benefits of meditation, and also some of the myths and misconceptions of meditation, and then how to implement it into your busy lifestyle and really create a daily practice out of it. So before we dive in, I want to tell you a little bit about Jana. Jana is an Atlanta native. She attended Emory University and graduated with a BS in both biology and chemistry. She has a love for science, people, and a very strong clinical background, and that actually led her into a thriving career in pharmaceutical sales. And then in early 2013, Jana began her meditation practice and really fell in love with the benefits that it provided her. It helped her in ways that she really could never have imagined. It really helped reduce her stress, improve her focus and productivity, help with sleep challenges, and helped her experience increased energy levels throughout the day and an overall sense of contentment. And she had such amazing results that she knew she wanted to share that with others. And she's always been a self-proclaimed health nut. And then she became more curious about the world of natural health and wellness and really wanted to dive into that sector. So in 2016, she co-founded a holistic health company called Purely Well Living, and she's been serving her community and working with individuals ever since. She teaches classes on natural health and wellness, and even more recently, she has a focus on mindfulness and meditation and teaches meditation classes. And she's happily married and has two sweet little girls. And so I'm really, really excited to introduce everyone to Jana. Welcome.
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. What an amazing intro. It's funny to watch yourself hering all of these things,
right?
About yourself. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, we're so glad to have you. And such an incredible kind of journey for you, like, going, being in pharmaceutical sales and then being, pulled into the world of natural health, or led into the world of natural health, and then ultimately meditation. So I absolutely love that. So I'd love for you to kind of share a little bit about your story, what led you to meditation. And, we know a little bit about how it's helped you and changed your life, but I'd love for you to dive deeper. So kind of tell us a little bit about you in your own words and your story.
Sure. Well, I guess I would have to really back up even into early adulthood, even maybe, late childhood. And, I was told that the way to kind of the key to life, the key to happiness, is just work really, really hard in school, Jana, and then, get into a good college and get a good job, and, find a good man and then get married, have kids, all the things. Yeah. And I found myself having checked all of those, very fortunate to say, having kind of gone through this process throughout my 20s and having my first child in my early 30s. And I really got to a place where I had to be very honest. Oh, I can feel myself getting emotional. And it was just kind of one of those times where I really had to listen to my inner self and realize that there had to be more. And it wasn't that I wasn't happy. It's just that there was still a part of me that felt like, is this it? Like, am I done? I mean, is this my life? And so I really kind of started, I've always been a seeker at heart, but I really started at that point, just really trying to investigate, getting to know yourself better, how to relax, because being this type A person and always trying to have that be kind of even almost like to the point where it was, you know, my thing, like, oh, I multitask, I'm type A, I get it all done. And, you know, I just really never took a moment for myself, whether it was just, you know, just to be honest with where I am and how I feel, but also just to be still. I think our culture thrives on that not being still as a good thing. And, you know, I'm walking proof, and I think there's many others out there that may have reached the point where they're like, you know what, I do value, you know, getting to know myself. I do value, you know, what do I want? Not what everybody tells me I should want and what's going to make me happy, but really being brave enough to ask those hard questions, those tough questions, and, you know, going after the answers. And so for me, meditation, amongst many other things, but that was a huge cornerstone to kind of my turn into who I am, what I want, and, you know, what makes me happy.
So. I love that. I love that. I think so many of us just kind of push down that voice inside of us and fill our space with other things that distract us, right? We just fill our lives with busyness. We numb things with food and alcohol and things like that, rather than actually like tuning in and listening and saying, okay, I need to pay attention to this and do something about it. So I love that you listened and that you found meditation to be kind of the answer for you. So that's awesome. That is so great. So great. Real quick, it looks like we lost our connection to Facebook, so I'm going to try to just hop back on there real quickly. I don't know what's going on with technology today. It's being a little strange. Let's see if we can get it up and running again.
It's good practice for the type A personalities, right?
I know. I've had to like learn. I've become a lot more patient with technology lately, just knowing there's certain things that are out of my control, and I'll do what I can. All right. All right, I think it says it's, all right, we'll see if that's working. And we'll just continue on. Okay, awesome. Well, I think that's such a powerful testimony, and I know a lot of people can relate to that, you know, where they just feel there's got to be something more. And at what point do you just take that time to get quiet and listen, right? Rather than just pushing it away and saying, nope, this is just how it is, or, you know, whatever you want to say to justify it, or make excuses. Like at some point, you got to tune in and listen. Otherwise, life is just going to kind of pass you by, right? And you're going to look back and be like, okay, you know, I filled my time with things that maybe weren't as important as what I really wanted to. So,
and before we move on, I do want to say something about that too.
Yeah.
Give yourself that permission, because I know I toyed with this. Like, does this, because I'm not 100%, my cup isn't running over, does that mean that I'm a bad mom? Or, you know, I should be grateful. I mean, I'm doing better than the majority of people, or however you want to quantify it. So I should, you know, you're shoulding all over everything.
Yes, exactly.
And just to, and it doesn't mean just, yes, children are amazing, and husbands are amazing, and you know, even your career is amazing, but there's another part of you too, and that's okay. And you can explore that, and that doesn't make you ungrateful or selfish or any of those things that I think at least came up for me. So I wanted to throw that in there, because I did struggle with that a lot. You know, there were retreats I went on, and things I did for myself that I'm sure, you know, maybe people out there were like, you know, what is this? What is she doing? But it's okay. And it's, you know, it's like they say, I know this example is used a lot, but it's because it's a good one. And that's, you know, when you're on the airplane, you put the mask on yourself first before you put your mask, on yourself first before you put it on your loved one. And so I think that it really does ring true, and you really owe it to yourself to listen to yourself.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, if your cup is empty, you have nothing to give to others, right? And so to be the best person you can be for the people that you love, you've got to fill your cup. And yeah, that involves, we hear the term self-care, right? I'm not talking about going and getting a manicure and all those things, which are great. Go do that if you love it. But it's really about doing the inner work, which is not always easy. And it's oftentimes uncomfortable. But that is what is going to really fill your cup. And it's prioritizing the time to do that and knowing that you're worth it, right?
Absolutely.
Because I think that's another issue, is that so many people, just don't feel worthy or deserving of that time. And there's a level of self-love that comes with that. So, which can grow through things like meditation.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that just transforms everything.
Yeah, for sure.
When you feel that from the inside out, it's not just you that feels it, your family feels it, your kids feel it, they resonate with it. I mean, everything, truly. Yeah. It's such an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah.
How it all just kind of transforms and really gets that,
Yeah, for sure. I love that. So we're talking all about meditation, but we should probably backtrack and say, what exactly is meditation? I mean, it's really become kind of I don't want to say trendy thing, but I mean, because it dates back like thousands of years, right? It's been around forever, but it's becoming more mainstream, which I think is fantastic because we all need it. But what is meditation?
I actually wrote down the definition from Merriam-Webster because it is so many different things. And it really depends on the intention that you're setting for that particular meditation, or maybe that time period of your life. So just to kind of read off here, definition 1 is to engage in contemplation or reflection, which meditation absolutely is that. Another is to engage in mental exercise for the purpose of reaching a heightened level of awareness or spiritual awareness. So that again is another kind of purpose of it. And to focus one's thoughts. And that's just one of the definitions that I think most people think meditation is. It's just clearing your mind of everything. And then the next one is to project the mind. And, the reason I wanted to kind of lay those out there that way is they're also very different, but in the same time, in meditation, they all come together beautifully. So it's kind of interesting. From face value, it seems like, well, how is, a mental exercise, part of spiritual awareness, and it seems so, but it really does come together in a beautiful way.
Yeah. So maybe you can dive a little deeper into that, how meditation is a mental exercise, but it cultivates spiritual awareness. How does that, is there an easy way to explain like how that works, what that looks like?
Yeah, I guess let me give you my visual that I use a lot first, and then I think I'll dive more into just how it works. So a lot of us, most of us, particularly, here where we're doing, we've lost the whole human being aspect of our lives, and we are rewarded for the doing, the to-do list, the go here, go there. The busier you are, the more successful you are. And what that has done is, you have your thoughts and you have your mind, and they're all kind of here together. It's like on top of each other. And, what happens during meditation is you start to see a separation between this busybodying mind and these busybodying thoughts, to the point where you kind of begin to separate the two, and you see, I'm not actually my thoughts. I can watch these things, and if I'm able to see them, then I'm not them, which means I have a choice, right? In what I want to think and how I want to feel. And the same goes for emotions. So you really start to create that space. But so many of us are consumed here And we don't realize that if you think anger, then you be angry. Or, if you feel insecure about a situation, well, by golly, that's the truth, and you don't have a moment of that, what we call awareness or consciousness, to just look at it from almost like a higher point of view of what's really true here right now. Or how do I want it? Do I really want to be angry and just blurt that anger out at my child, for example, or, maybe even my boss, I don't know. Or do I really want to take a moment with that and choose a little bit more of a response? So I think from just a practical standpoint, I think that's one of the a practical application of meditation.
Yeah. I love that because, it's so easy to be so super reactive. And I think it's important to point out that it's not about suppressing these thoughts and feelings and emotions, but it's about, like you said, bringing awareness to them, feel it and let it pass, right? Rather than either acting on it or just burying it, right? So
I'm so glad that you said that, because there's a lot of talk right now in a lot of the spiritual circles about denial, right? Because you could very well say, oh, I'm feeling this anger, but I'm not going to. So that is a level of awareness, right? And I choose to be nice anyway. And that might be really, truly what's true for you in that moment. But I think it runs so much deeper than just seeing these things. But it's the next question, once you kind of see it, is you get curious about it, right? Like, what was it about what he said? Like, where am I right now? Right? Like, how am I showing up? Why is that bothering me? And it gives you, it's almost like a mirror to say, that's interesting that person cutting me off would affect me so bad, And so it really gives you, it's like a little guide to kind of your emotions, like what's going on underneath, Are you already stressed out so that when somebody cuts you off, you just fly off the handle? Or, what is it about that? So it just gives you even that element of curiosity so that you can get to know yourself. Because this type of thing, meditation is not about just choosing denial. Like, I don't want to feel that. I'm going to, move forward with something else. So it's a really good point.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I can just think in like situations, for me, I just think of past situations where, I mean, like you mentioned getting cut off in traffic. There's times where it doesn't affect me one bit. And then there's times where I get super mad and then I want to cry, and I'm like, what is going on in my life right now? That is like, because it's not about that being cut off in traffic, right? There's obviously some other stuff going on. And I think on the flip side too, when someone does say something that makes you mad or is offensive or whatever, like for me, I've in the past, and probably still do, it's something I'm working on, is just forgiveness, right? Like forgiveness of others and self-forgiveness, and like not holding grudges and not taking things super personally. But one of the things that I've learned recently is like, when you can find compassion towards the other person, kind of like see things through their lens, be in their shoes, maybe question like what's going on in their life for them to act that way. Then you can have compassion for the other person, which really helps with true forgiveness. Like, it's easy to say you forgive someone, but then if that memory comes back up and you're triggered and you feel those feelings, you really haven't forgiven them. So I think also like seeing, cultivating compassion for other people, and recognizing that there may be things going on in their life too. So it's hard. It's really hard, but I do think meditation can help so much with that. And just allowing yourself to feel those things and bring that awareness, and then offering compassion to situations.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you brought up several things. The first is this compassion. Excuse me. We were out trick-or-treating in the cold last night, you guys. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I think that meditation gives you is a bit of, it gives you a lot of perspective. And, you know, with that perspective comes compassion. One little rule that I like to share is there's very few things that are going to tick you off in a day that you haven't done yourself.
Yeah.
We've all been the person that's held up the Starbucks line. We've all been the person at the grocery store that forgot something. So before, you know, because it starts with the little things.
Yeah.
I wish I could say it starts with repairing the relationship with your mother or whatever. But for me, at least, it started, I noticed the effects of it with the little things. And in that compassion in those moments, you know, the people driving fast or slow in the fast lane. Oh, I've totally done it, you know, and just keeping that kind of, that type of mentality day to day on those things. But then, you know, something else that is, it promotes that connection, that oneness. And, you know, everyone is trying. This is all of our classrooms. We're all learning, we're all trying, and we're all loved. Yeah. So, you know, just trying to bring that awareness to maybe the more difficult situations, maybe those that are closer to home. And it really is interesting how when you connect with yourself and that kind of higher part of you, you know, that one that whispers to you in situations very gently, you know, hey, maybe you should think of it this way. And or, you know, when you connect more and cultivate that relationship, those type, that voice does, it's never more than gentle, but it does get louder.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's awesome. I love that. So, so tell us, and you may have touched on this a little bit, like, you know, I think a lot of us think meditation is like getting to a place where we have a blank slate. You know, so what is meditation not?
I love this question because it's the thing that I hear the most when anybody learns that I'm a meditation teacher. The first thing they say, oh goodness, I've tried that and I can't.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
And to me, it's almost hard because, you know, I don't want to, I'm immediately just enthused by that because I mean, it just makes me, it's like hearing a toddler say, yeah, you know, I tried that walking thing and I fell. I just can't, you know? And so I think it's really having the right expectations about it, particularly here, you know, in kind of the modern Western world. I mean, we live in the information age. You know, our minds are going, you know, 1,000,000 miles an hour. The amount of information that we come across now in a day versus what somebody 100 years ago came across in a year or 2 years or 10 years, you know, to just kind of process that. So, you know, the point is, you know, if you think you're going to sit down with your monkey mind, as they call it, and just immediately shut it off, it's very unrealistic. And I wish I'd known that when I had started meditation, because I would say for the first year, I would sit down and I would close my eyes and do all the things and be so frustrated with myself because I couldn't just shut my mind off, you know, strangely. And so what I've learned is you do have to be patient. You do have to be gentle. And you have to set up realistic expectations. In the practice, especially at first, is just that. It's saying, okay, I'm meditating, I'm here. Oh, there I go again. Let's bring it back to the breath. Oh, there I go again. You know, just like you're training a toddler. No, don't, oh, come back up. You know, and it's just that same sort of, and I would encourage those who are trying it to handle themselves as such, or training a puppy. You know, you're not like, puppy, you messed up. You know, you're very gentle and kind, and you offer up grace to those that are learning. And you should extend yourself that same.
No, that's so great. And then when some like negative emotions do arise, what do you do? Because if someone's meditating and, you know, something that happened earlier that day comes into their memory and it triggers like anger, frustration, or some sort of like stressful emotion, again, like feeling it, but then what? Like, how do you handle that?
So it's a really good question. I guess first I would say it depends on what your meditation is supposed to be about. Like if it's not the time and you're not willing in that moment, or you've set aside that time to to truly decompress and relax and be in that space and not deal with that situation, that I would honor that. However, if you're having more of an open meditation, which is really more of a, hey, I'm going to sit here and see what's up for me today, and that's what's up for you, then it's really an opportunity to listen to yourself. And I would encourage you to breathe into that, whatever that emotion is. I think sometimes, especially for men, emotions are considered this horrible thing that they're not supposed to feel, but it's really windows into your soul. It really is a way to say, what hurt me? What really hurt me? And, your ego is going to come up with, well, they said this. And, and when you start feeling that kind of higher energy sort of voice, I would encourage you to just let that one step aside and focus more on just the raw emotion of it. And, once you kind of feel like you're with that, I think it's really an opportunity to just breathe into it. Because what is so healing about meditation, which doesn't get talked about as much, I don't think, is, really there's no way around these things. You just have to go through them.
Yeah.
So, if that's what's coming up, maybe it's a betrayal, then you sit with that emotion, not the story about it. And I can't believe, but just that true raw emotion. And it's really interesting. It's so simple, yet so difficult, because once you sit with it, it really, you feel it. It lifts away. But we spend so much time and energy running from it.
Yeah.
When if we just take a moment, acknowledge it and feel it, it just kind of goes.
I love it. Love it. That's awesome. So for someone that is new to meditation, or maybe they're one of the people that's like, I've tried it and it's just it's not for me. And for most people these days that are busy, don't have a lot of time, right? And they're not ready to maybe like prioritize a lot of time for meditation because they haven't experienced the benefits. Where do you recommend someone start?
I would say, there's a few different ways you can go. I'm going to tell you what worked for me, and that was guided meditation.
Yeah.
I tried to just sit, and breathe and count my breaths. And I think that works great for some people, which is, one of the options I would give you. For me, it was a guided meditation. I would say 5 or 10 minutes in the morning with headphones. Prioritize it by setting your clock 5 minutes earlier. Don't try to squeeze it into our already jam-packed day. Just know that's going to be the first thing. That's what's worked for me. There's others that can do it at night. Others are very disciplined about doing it maybe during a lunch break. So that would be my recommendation. And there's several apps out there. I like the Insight Timer. I also think there's some really good stuff on YouTube. You could easily in the search bar just say morning 5-minute meditation, and you would be shocked at how many different things will come up. So, I would encourage you to just set aside some time to just kind of do your own little research to find something you like, and then make that part of your routine for 30 days. Now, if you're one of those that doesn't, kind of wants to go off on their own, then counting your breaths is a great way to begin. You can do something called the 5-point breathing, which is you breathe in to the count of 5, you hold for the count of 5, and then you release at the count of 5. And if that is enough for you, God bless you. It was not for me, but many people start and stay there for years and years. So I think, there's no one size fits all approach.
Yeah. That's great. And I totally agree with you. I was like you with meditation. The guided meditations are absolutely where I started. And I still like the guided meditations, and being able to choose how much time I want to spend in meditation on any given day. You're right. YouTube has a ton of free stuff, lots of good stuff. Insight Timer is amazing and it's free. I've used the Daily Calm app a lot, and there's different levels. It is a paid app, but you can get like the lowest level for like $10 a year or something like that, and you get a daily 10-minute meditation that's different each day, which is cool too. So if you're just getting started and you're like, I'll commit 5 or 10 minutes, like, you're right, the apps and YouTube are such great places to start, for free or very, very inexpensive. What was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention before we wrap up is, for any of you watching that are, you know, um, maybe dealing with some chronic symptoms, chronic illness, whether it's gut issues or hormone imbalances or autoimmune conditions, or even, anxiety and things like that, sleep issues. Like, meditation is so powerful. Like, it's such a powerful healing tool for all these things. It's really something to incorporate into your wellness routine, along with cleaning up your diet and exercise and all of that stuff, because it's calming your nervous system, and any sort of imbalance in the body is rooted in stress the majority of the time. So, which means you're mostly operating in survival mode in that fight or flight response most often during the day, and really too much for your body to handle. So we really want to calm the nervous system and activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And meditation is a great way to do that. And especially like the breath meditation, where you're breathing in for five and breathing out for 5, is a great way to really calm the nervous system as well. So I just wanted to point that out too, that it's a fantastic healing tool for a variety of things. So have you seen that with many of your clients or in yourself?
I have. In fact, I got a text from a busy mom yesterday, just how much she's noticing. And I'm so glad that, you talked about that, because I want to make one last point with meditation that I think is so key. Is it's not just about the 5 or 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. What her text said is, I'm realizing it's affecting me all day long. It's affecting me how I respond to my daughter. It's affecting how I am with my spouse. It's affecting how my energy level at work, my sleep at night. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you, as you start this journey, be patient with yourself, mm-hmm. but, give the opportunity for it to weave it in. It will start to just weave itself in your day, in and out of your day. Yeah. Just, as long as you can be a little bit mindful of, oh yeah, I could breathe about this. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I would encourage you, I don't recall who said it, but it was like, just thinking that meditation is just that 10 minutes in the morning and then you're off your pillow and on your way, is pretty much like working out and then being a couch potato for the rest of the day, sitting and eating pizza and drinking beer.
Right.
So it will start to cultivate itself. It will naturally begin to, show up in situations, and it would just be, you would do yourself an honor to listen when it does, to go, oh yeah, I don't have to respond like I used to. I could actually, maybe take a minute with this.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Well, this is so insightful. I think it gives everyone a place to start with, incorporating a meditation practice, and some good insight into just the benefits and what meditation really is, and not to come in with the right expectations, right? And not to be so hard on yourself. So this was so informative. So thank you so much. And before we wrap up, Jana, where can people find you?
We are actually in the process of changing up our website, so it will be The Busy Bee.
Okay, nice.
Yes. So more information to follow on that. I'll definitely let you know when we're up and running. So thank you for that.
Perfect. So fun. Well, lots of exciting stuff. And I encourage all of you out there to give meditation a fair shot. Like Jana said, commit to 5 or 10 minutes a day for 30 days, and I'm pretty sure you won't go back. So you'll keep that practice in your life long term. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Jana, for being here.
Oh, thank you.
And we will be back again next week. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Bye for now.
Bye.